So for today's video, I realize I'm a little late on this. I feel like that's kind of what I keep saying in all my videos, but I've been playing catch up. You know, I've been doing a little traveling and also I had a somewhat near-death experience, which I shared on my Twitch channel, Mogi Bear. It's so hard to explain. Do you guys want to see pictures or is that weird? We're like, you should go to the doctor and get that checked out because that looks kind of bad. You can see the initial, like I said, half like silver dollar sized. Me being a modern girl in this day and age, I had to Google it and I got nervous because then I realized I was like, oh no. And then urgent care was, it's urgent care. I still wanted to do a video on this because I was really excited about this collab with Pony. Who doesn't love Pony? Pony's makeup. So I still wanted to do a video. So I'm gonna try and make this as quick and concise as possible because I know that there are other videos out there. And like I said, this has been out for a couple weeks at this point. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to my thoughts. This video, I don't know if I would say it's controversial, but I have some thoughts on this collection that I was very disappointed about. So it's more with Colourpop that I got some thoughts on. So let's just go through the collection. I do have it all on my face at the moment. Now starting off, let's go ahead and talk about the kind of topic of controversy in this video, which is the Super Shock shadows. These retail for $20. They come in a set of 4, and I, for the most part, liked half the shades and didn't care for the other half the shades. I mean, I've been a big fan of Colourpop shadows for quite some time now. I love the texture. I love how they're super shimmery. They glide right on. They're kind of the definition of buttery shadows. So the 2 shadows that I really liked were Gumball and Walk on Air. So these 2 are kind of the more lighter of the quad. Now here's my issue with the other 2, Warm and Fuzzy and Seventh Heaven. Now Seventh Heaven wasn't as bad, but Warm and Fuzzy stains like crazy. Now I realize they actually have it noted on the back of the box and also I believe on the website. It says not intended for use in the eye area and has like an asterisk besides Warm and Fuzzy. And to me, I'm like, well then why would you make a Super Shock shadow, the key word there, out of pigments that are not intended for eye area? From my understanding is this might have pigments in it that are not necessarily FDA approved. Now having said that though, I have very sensitive eyes, so I can't use this. And I don't want to risk staining my eyes because I was just shocked. And let me put this out there. I usually never swatch the products before I apply it on my face, which after my experience with this collection, I might make a habit of doing swatching them and then going to applying them on my face because I'm glad I didn't apply this on my eye area because this would have stained like crazy. I'm assuming that if I used an eye primer, it would have been better, but to be completely honest, for me, it's just not worth the risk. I do have sensitive eyes, and personally, it's like, couldn't you just have had a different color or use different pigments in your shadows so I could use all of them, or people who have sensitive eyes could have used all of them? So it is kind of my fault in a sense because they make it somewhat clear. Like they have it noted on the box, they have it noted on their website, but when you're purchasing products, that's not the first thing you think to check for is when it's labeled shadow to make sure it's safe for the eye area. So that was just kind of my gripe with this. So out of these, just to be safe, I'm just going to stick to the lighter of the colors. I'm going to go ahead and not use these, which bums me out. That's like $10 worth of product I can't use. Now let's go ahead and talk about the palette. Of course, it has a super cute packaging, and this actually retails for 15 bucks. You get 9 shades in here, and well, similar to my issue with these Super Shock shadows, it actually notes on the back that the colors that are not, what does it they specifically say? Not intended for use in the immediate eye area is basically this whole row here, which makes sense because those contain the glitters, and glitters are typically kind of, you know, sketchy to use around your eyes. I mean, you can Google the horror stories. I don't want to like fearmonger here, but you know, they can lead to scratched corneas. So, you know, if that's something that you're hesitant about, I would just say better safe than sorry and not use them on your eyelids or around your eyes. Now, again, I have very sensitive eyes, so I'm just opting to not use them at all. And personally for me, it's in a shadow palette. So I'm, again, a little bummed that I can't use the whole palette. And another concern of mine is that because they are kind of like they are like pressed, but I do see the glitter kind of drifting from place to place, and my concern is that they might drift into the other shadows. I don't know how often I'm going to be reaching for this palette. It's super cute. I did use the matte shadows on my lid just to kind of see how they were going to perform, and they were pretty nice, but I don't know, for me, this is not going to be a palette I'm going to be reaching for if I can't use a third of the palette. So that, again, was just kind of a bummer for me. And again, I guess correct me if I'm wrong. I know other cosmetic companies do this as well. I think Colourpop is kind of notorious for putting like glitters or stuff that's not intended for the eye area in shadows or palettes. For me, again, since I do have sensitive eyes, I have to just opt to not use them because I have to be careful. I love Pony too. The colors are really pretty and the packaging is amazing. Now, moving on to these Super Shock highlighters and blushes. These are really nice. I was excited to see a good range of colors. I am seeing tidbits of like Korean trends or Korean makeup in these because she does have a couple light shades. For me, I was able to get them to show up on my skin. I just have to apply them very liberally to my skin. Those two shades being Double Bubble and Simply Sweet. They are kind of that Play-Doh-y texture. They feel almost like cream, but they are a powdery finish almost. So I just have to apply these two with a heavier hand. One that actually is probably best suited for my skin tone or darker is sugar coated, so this one actually applied really nicely onto my cheeks, so I'm glad I can use these. The highlighters were also really nice. I actually find that it's best to use my fingers when using these. Because of the texture of these, you kind of move the highlighter around, so you have some workability with the texture of these highlighters. So I do enjoy these. These are a more subtle highlight. You're not going to get like that super frosty type of highlight, but sometimes I like to have that. So these two I was really excited about. So thank goodness, the Super Shock blushes and the highlighters, I'm good to use, and I'm really happy with them. I like the shades, I like the colors, I like the packaging. I think these are great. Last but not least, let's go ahead and go over these lip products. Now, these are called the Ultra Blotted Lip. Now, this is the first time I've used this formula from Colourpop, and I was particularly intrigued because I think that the idea of these fit really nicely with Korean beauty and what's trendy in Korea at the moment. So there are 3 shades available. These retail for $8 a piece, and I only really cared for one shade, which is the shade I'm wearing now, so I guess I'll go ahead and talk about that one. It's in shade Holly Lolly, and I like this color because it seems to really give you that soft blended type of look, almost like you pat it on your lipstick with your finger. So I really like this color. The only reason I didn't care for the other two was I think because of the shades, Chewholic and Juicy Drop. I have very dry lips, so these colors in particular emphasize every single little crack and like dead piece of skin. I don't think I will be using these. So this formula in general for me is kind of hit or miss, it seems like. Like, I don't want to say I don't like it, but I don't know if I would reach for these. What these two shades reminding me in particular on the lips is they almost look like worn like lip stain. Like you've been wearing them for a couple hours, had eaten food and, you know, had a couple drinks, and, you know, that's what you're left with, which I appreciate. Like, I think it can look chic in some instances, but for me, I think personally, I look like a mess. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick review of the Bitti by Colourpop collection. This has actually been the first time in a while that I've purchased Colourpop makeup. So it was kind of interesting to see like price changes, to see the different types of products they offer now. I'd be curious to know your guys' thoughts on the whole glitter debacle slash using non-FDA approved pigments or ingredients. I mean, and it's also one of those things, I want to be totally honest with you guys, because if you blindly bought the products because it was Pony like I did, you might not have caught that some of the stuff is not intended for use around the eyes. Buyer beware, you gotta always watch out for what's in your products. As always, I hope you guys are happy and healthy, and don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!